These roads, we're going out the Bruinsburg Road as it was known then. Now, today it's known as the Rodney Road, but at the time it was known as the Bruinsburg Road. The road we're not going to take was known as the Rodney Road, so they've completely changed the roads and makes it a little bit confusing that the major fighting is going to take place. Now, initially, this crossover road between the two roads is a little bit farther to our front, and Tracy's brigade will hold a position on that road first, and then will take place right in this general area here. To the left here, see these valleys, see these gullies, and this is kind of like what Grant was talking about. The ground stands on edge, and this whole area in here is just eaten away like that.
Was Windsor Mansion. This is all that's left, but it was the biggest mansion probably in the state of Mississippi at one time. I can see up there it was made with brick and then coated with I don't know what. Here's a drawing of what it looked like at one time.
And I wish, like everything, see Bruinsburg Road, that is a public road. We could, again, it's one of those things we could get out in there probably. We might tumble the bus down and actual landing took place. And that's one of the coolest places also to stand where.
Have the doors open for us.
I'm not sure if there's services every Sunday here. Route that we came, the road would have turned right here. This is the old road bed. It would have joined the Rodney Road just back behind Bethel Church here. So the entire 13th Corps, 4 divisions of McClernand's 13th Corps, as well as 1 division of McPherson's 17th Corps, would have marched right along here in that road bed there. Now, it probably wasn't as deep then as it is now, because over the course of 160 years, it's going to erode even more.
Great big wheat field. Historic Natchez, founded 1716.
The French were the first to come in the late 1600s, and they found people already living here, the tribe of the Natchez, but the French called them the Natchez, and that's where we take our name. We say it like a box of matches, Natchez. And if you look, you'll see the antebellum mansion called Rosalie. So in the 1820s, long after the fort was gone, they built a antebellum mansion on the grounds of the fort, and they called it Rosalie. And then the Union Army occupied this town in 1863. They moved right into Rosalie Mansion, right alongside the family. Oh. And they did that in a lot of the mansions in town. They just moved right in, right alongside the family. Now, you know, we don't have any plantations in Natchez, though. All we have are townhomes, because the wealthy planters, they built their plantations in the outlying areas, and they grew cotton. They made a lot of money. Then they came to Natchez and they built their elaborate townhomes so they could entertain and they could marry their kids off to each other. In 1763, the British defeated the French. They occupied the fort on top of the hill. They only controlled this area for about 16 years, but it was the British that settled most of this area, building plantations and issuing large land grants. And then after the British came the Spanish. 1779, the Spanish defeated the British, and they built the town of Natchez on top of the hill, pretty much like it is today. The core of our downtown is about 6 blocks by 7 blocks. To figure it out. His name was Andrew Ellicott. Well, he went on to survey the 31st parallel all the way to Florida, which became the southern boundary of the United States in 1798 for the Louisiana Purchase. But it turns out the 31st parallel is 40 miles south. We're going to almost be there when we get to Woodville. We'll be about 10 miles away. So that meant Natchez belonged to the United States. The Spanish did not want to leave. So Andrew Ellicott came here with a band of gentlemen, and they camped on the highest hill in town, and they flew the American flag in defiance of Spain, but it took Spain 2 years to vacate the area.
There. This is a visitor information. I think that's doesn't date to 1850.
Does anyone need?
History of Jefferson Davis.
So y'all hold up right there. You look pretty. Miss Jane and Mr. Samuel came here in 1810 and established this plantation. Jefferson was 2 at the time. Miss Jane was 50. She had Jefferson at the age of 48. 25 years difference between Joseph and Jefferson. 2, it had no running water, no electricity. So it was quite the restoration. All the plaster work, everything that he did as they did back then. He wanted everything original. He's known for that. He's done about 11 restorations. His first one at the age of 15. Then he did manage to save some of the original shingles. If you'll look from that eave to that eave, those were the original shingles that were on the house. I think that's pretty cool.
3 days to get back here. I'd go to Natchez and spend the night and come back and try to find the old gentleman that lived here. And he was living here still in 1970 with oil lamps and no running water. And a cistern on the side of the house. You'll see that chandelier there, it burns whale oil. And it was put here in the 1850s, we think, by Joseph E. Davis. When the father died, Jefferson Davis' father died, the place was left in the hands of the oldest son, Joe Davis. And he kept it for his mother and his sisters. And he, at the outbreak of the war in 1861, he deeded it to his sister and her husband, his family, the Stamps family. They lived here several generations, 5 generations of the families, I say, lived here.
Front parlor. And we're all amazed at the wall-to-wall carpeting, and that was original.
In front of the fireplace is a lap robe, and that was Jefferson Davis's lap robe when he was Confederate president. And the family from Colorado gave that to me. My friends are always out here, and my nephew is that.
So you're not alone?
No, I understand you're about 90 years old. Great friends.
Franklin Pierce.
And, after the war, he offered his home to Jefferson Davis. Because Jefferson Davis, of course, lost everything he had, been in prison for 2 years, and so he said, I can't go, dear friend, I can't accept your offer, because it will bring hostilities to your family. So he wouldn't go and live with them. So, and he put his picture on the whole front page, and his funeral supposedly is the largest funeral in the history of this country until John Kennedy's funeral. So, letters and everything up in the attic. I found I wish I had time. You'll come back another time.
Back patio.
In South Carolina in 1756. I met my husband during the War of the American Revolution. Samuel Emory Davis was a captain in the Continental Army and was born in Georgia in 1750. We married the moment the war had ended, and our independence in America was a reality. Our eldest sons ventured south down the Mississippi River into the exciting new Natchez district in the early 1800s. My husband was lured deep into the South by their reports. They told him how fortunes were being made in the Louisiana and Mississippi territories on cotton and sugar. Mr. Davis consequently brought us all here, and we established this plantation in 1810. I was 50 years old, and Mr. Davis was 56. This was to be our last home, and we built this house with a great deal of love. We had a Palladian window over the front gallery to remind us of our homes in South Carolina and Kentucky. This rich soil grew my beloved roses and flowers better than any place I'd ever lived.
What a beautiful old stove. It's a dinner bell. Quite a nice chicken coop. I don't see any chickens, but oh well.
It all up, so I don't really know what the
Jefferson Davis' mother is
plan
buried
is for
there.
that. I don't know if they'll just leave
But
it
a
in that.
tree
I don't know
broke
that
the
you can
top
do much
of it.
with it because
This is a brother-in-law.
Because
Died at Gettysburg.